Hello, everybody, and welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I know I am. Got ourselves a little something different. For some reason, there's this one channel. What the fuck's it called again?
Suzanne Eaton was a
No, Chilling Scares, and he has two videos of the exact same name, and we're gonna do them in chronological order, at least as far as I've found them. This is YouTubers that became murderers. Let's go.
Suzanne Eaton was a 59-year-old American scientist who was working as a professor of molecular biology in Dresden, Germany.
That doesn't sound like somebody who would have a YouTube channel.
A big part of her job at this institute was to travel around the world and hold conferences on the latest developments in her field. In July of 2019, she traveled to the scenic Greek island of Crete for one of
That shit look nice as hell.
these conferences, not knowing that this was going to be her last, and that the person responsible for her end would be caught because of his videos on YouTube.
Ooh. You know what this is? This that self-snitching. Ooh. Oh, you know we love that on this channel.
The incident happened on July 2nd, when, after a conference, Suzanne spent time with her peers and played the public piano in the venue's lobby before saying her goodbyes and heading out to her hotel in the afternoon. Sadly, this was the last time anyone saw Suzanne alive. Her coworkers noticed her absence when she didn't show up for the second conference scheduled for 6 p.m. that evening. It wasn't like her to skip events out of the blue. Something wasn't right. A fact that became increasingly clear when over 24 hours passed without anyone hearing from her. So, on July 3rd, her colleagues called the police to check on her.
That's never good. When you're at a place to go somewhere and you don't go there, that usually means something's wrong.
Hoping she was simply sick or something similar. However, when officers arrived at her hotel room, no one answered the door. They acquired a spare key from the hotel management and went inside, only to find the room completely empty and undisturbed. All of Suzanne's belongings were also still in the room. The only things missing were her running shoes and a set of exercise clothes.
Ah, so she went out walking. I get that.
Those who knew her immediately understood what this meant. You see, in addition to her academic prowess and piano expertise, Suzanne was also an athlete at heart. She was a double black belt in Taekwondo, and despite her age, loved going on a run every day.
Okay. We got a badass over here, and that's real shit. I'm actually impressed. I am actually fucking impressed.
Knowing this helped investigators narrow down what might have happened to her. Put simply, she likely went on a run soon after returning to her hotel on July 2nd, and something went wrong after that. She wasn't super familiar with the area, and to make matters worse, the weather was uncomfortably hot that afternoon.
It is the Mediterranean. If you're from, say, the Northeast, that might get you, you know?
There was a strong possibility she collapsed from the heat or something else along those lines.
Right.
After putting this together, the Crete police immediately dispatched a search and rescue team in the area surrounding her hotel and around popular running trails. Her family even traveled to Crete and put a €50,000 reward for anyone who could help find Suzanne.
Woo, that's how much is that in dollars? Hold the fuck on a second. Yeah. Damn, $57,840.50. That would get me talking if I knew something. That's a damn show.
Unfortunately, Suzanne was nowhere to be found. That is until 5 days later, on July 8th, when two young men were exploring one of the abandoned World War II Nazi bunkers scattered across Crete. Around 200 meters in, one of them noticed a piece of burlap covering something on the ground. They picked it up from one end to see what was underneath. And what they found was the aftermath of one of the most horrific crimes in Crete's recent history.
Really? Y'all gonna put it? This motherfucker's gonna kill somebody, right? And then put her body in what is likely a place that's gonna be a big nesting spot or like hangout spot for like tourists and fucking explorer type people, right? Bro, y'all gotta try a little better, man.
The burlap was covering the bloody remains of Suzanne Eaton. A later autopsy report discovered that Suzanne had several broken ribs, multiple fractures throughout her body, a missing ear, and much, much more.
Oh, goddamn.
Whatever happened to her certainly was not an accident. The investigators began searching for clues, and fortunately it didn't take long for them to make their first major breakthrough: a set of car tire tracks leading up to the entrance of the bunker. Analyzing these tracks allowed investigators to find the car responsible for transporting Suzanne's remains to that bunker. It belonged to 27-year-old Yanis Paraskakis.
Yeah, that guy looks like a fucking psychopath. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't shot up a school yet.
A local sheep farmer. But when questioned, Yanis feigned ignorance and claimed that him driving through that area on that day was nothing more than a coincidence. He went as far as to say that he didn't even know about the existence of that bunker, a lie that would eventually lead to his arrest. You see, Yanis had a dream to become a successful YouTuber.
Right.
He started a channel with his own name in 2012 and began posting videos.
Yanis Paraskakis. Boy, that is a name, boy. That's a tongue twister right there, boy.
However, if you go to his channel today, all you'll find are 3 videos of him performing an ancient Chinese martial art and meditation technique called Qigong. That's because a couple days before Suzanne's body was discovered, Yanis deleted every other video on his channel. And once authorities recovered some of these deleted videos, it became clear why.
You stupid motherfucker. You gonna let me guess. He had a video where he looked at one of at the bunker in question, and he tried deleting all that shit, thinking that that's all he would have to do.
You see, most of these deleted videos involved Yanis exploring abandoned World War II bunkers, including the one where Suzanne's remains were discovered. This contradiction gave the authorities the go-ahead to formally arrest him on July 15. It also allowed them to investigate him further, and the evidence they discovered was overwhelming. As it turned out, the land where this bunker was located was owned by Yanis's family. Investigators also found traces of Suzanne's blood in his car's trunk.
You lazy sack of shit. The bunker's on your family fucking land. Did you put any thought into this?
When confronted with this evidence, Yanis cracked and told the whole story.
I
According to
bet.
him, he saw Suzanne running down the road and something came over him. He hit her with his car twice before putting her in his car, driving to the bunker, and ending her life there.
Why not just keep running her? Like, morbid as it may be, why not just keep running her over if you wanted to fucking kill her?
He later changed his story to where he was compelled to commit this crime by a demon. Unfortunately for him, the jury didn't buy this one bit and sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole in 2020.
Bye bye, bitch.
Now, this should have been the end of Yanis' story, but from what I've seen, there's more to his actions than just this one crime he was convicted of.
Oh?
The thing is, Yanis presented his vile act as a crime of opportunity, something he did completely out of nowhere.
Right.
However, there's evidence to suggest that Yanis might be a full-blown serial killer. For instance, he was apparently detained by the police twice before, once for arson and once for animal cruelty, both of which are well-known early behaviors of serial killers.
Alright, but are there any other people that might be missing or might be a cold case or something?
After his arrest, several other women also came forward, testifying that he had tried to run them over with his car as well in the past. So, Suzanne was more than likely not his first victim.
So he was trying to kill bitches, but only succeeded the one time. Gotcha.
However, the most solid evidence against Yanis is in one of the deleted videos he uploaded to YouTube. In it, we can see him showing some very human-looking bones
Bro.
scattered throughout the same bunker Suzanne was discovered in.
Bro, are you fucking kidding me? Like, how the hell did that stay on YouTube so long before he deleted everything? Because apparently he only deleted the shit after that last woman.
These bones were never discovered by the authorities, suggesting they might have been removed by Giannis to hide evidence.
I bet.
What makes this truly disturbing is what his friend says at one point in the same video. This roughly translates into, "Is this where you left that old guy?"
Wow. They're gonna have to turn that motherfucking bunker upside down now.
Insinuating that Giannis had disposed of one of his previous victims in the same bunker before. And if that is the case, one can only wonder how many other people Giannis has killed over the years.
Yep, definitely time to start opening up any cold missing persons cases.
Simply Manic 6075 was a YouTube channel owned and operated by 24-year-old Samantha Wolford.
Oh yeah, she looked crazy.
She lived in the small community of Monticello, Texas with her husband Ernest Lee Ibarra, aka Ernie, and their 5 children.
Oh, they both look fucking crazy. I'm not sure which one looks nuttier though.
She usually made...
Then again, that's like trying to figure out who's nuttier and which is the richest nut in the planter's tube,
her
you know?
husband Ernest Lee Ibarra, aka Ernie, and their 5 children. She usually made videos about her day-to-day life and other random topics.
Right.
Her story began in 2008 when she was at the lowest point of her life. She'd recently become the single mother of a pair of twins and had no love interest in her life.
Right.
That's when she met Ernie at a local tattoo shop, and the two hit it off right from the get-go, eventually getting in a relationship and starting a family together.
Oh yeah, that's where you find good, upstanding people, you know, at the tattoo parlor, where they're getting their whole shit just covered head to toe. Yeah, that's where you want to go. That's the freak house.
In one of her videos, Samantha described the day she met Ernie as the happiest day of her life. Together, they were blessed with 3 more children, including 1 more pair of
Jesus.
twins. Raising 5 kids was a challenge, but...
Oh, I bet. These two don't look like they make a lot of money, and 5 kids, man, it's a lot.
Ernie made it work by taking a second job in pizza delivery. So, while they had endured tough times together, Samantha, Ernie, and their 5 children appeared to be the perfect loving family. However, while being a stay-at-home mother was all she could do at the time, Samantha still had a dream of becoming a famous actress one day.
And that's why she started doing YouTube? How does that work?
I've always wanted to be an actress. I think it is so much fun. I've been extras in movies. I've had small parts in like short films. It is so much fun and it is so beautiful. It is one of the most amazing forms of art ever to be able to express yourself that way. I think it's amazing.
So, in October 2010, she created her YouTube channel and started posting videos, hoping to become a popular YouTuber and fulfill her dream on the internet instead. And things were going surprisingly okay in the beginning.
Yeah, those aren't bad numbers, you know. At least, fucking compared to me, shit. We got one that's 2.1, 2.7, 2.1K, 2.7K, 914, 2K, 27K, 15K, 2.1, and 1.6. I mean, kind of fluctuating, but you know she's doing pretty decent for a vlogger, I suppose. I don't know.
Samantha would post new videos whenever she had something new to say. And while most of her videos struggled to get past 100 views at the time, the few viewers she had were enough to keep her going. But as time passed on, her passion for making videos turned into an obsession. She started spending more of her time on making videos than her family, putting even more pressure on an already stressed out Ernie. Around 2014, she also started accusing Ernie of hurting her in her videos, hinting at just how bad their relationship was going.
Oh, really? Really? That's where it's at now? You're gonna make fake accusations of the one guy who's fucking doing everything in the house now?
But then, after posting a seemingly random video in March of 2014, Samantha mysteriously vanished from the internet. Maybe she lost interest in YouTube or just wanted to focus on her family again.
That's probably not what happened, considering the video we're watching.
No one knew exactly why she quit so abruptly. Then, on the 20th of February 2015, viewers finally received the update they were waiting for. Unfortunately, it was far more tragic than anyone could have imagined. It started with the Texas police receiving a call from one of Samantha's aunts asking them to save her niece's life.
Uh-oh.
County 911, what's your emergency? I have a home invasion. My niece is tied up. I am at the verge of untying my niece at this particular moment.
Okay,
Right.
she's tied up.
She is tied up and gagged.
And gagged? Is that what you
Yes,
said?
ma'am.
Is there anybody else there?
Where are the kids? We have 5 small infants asleep.
Apparently, 3 masked men broke into their home in the middle of the night and attacked the couple while they were asleep. The intruders then tied Samantha in her bedroom and after hitting him with a gun a few times, kidnapped Ernie.
I think I know where this is going. This shit has staged written all the fuck over it.
Samantha somehow managed to get her ties loose enough to call her aunt, who then contacted the police after arriving at Samantha's home herself.
That's clue number 2. I don't know about y'all, but if it was me, I'd be calling 911 first and then calling the fucking aunt. I ain't fucking around.
By the time officers arrived, Samantha's aunt had set her free from the restraints. The kids were fortunately safe as well. However, what made this whole situation strange was that the intruders didn't take anything else from their home besides Ernie.
Really?
And from the people who knew him personally, Ernie wasn't the type of guy to make enemies with dangerous people. Put simply, investigators sensed something fishy with the whole situation. But all that paled in comparison to the main objective, which was to save Ernie as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that Ernie's gone. Ernie's hella fucked up. It's over.
Unfortunately, Samantha didn't know anything that could give investigators their first clue.
Of course she didn't.
With no other option, the officers took Samantha to the station for further questioning, hoping to extract any useful information they could from her. But what none of them expected was that Samantha would change up her story completely after entering the interrogation room. Where before she didn't know anything about the assailants, now she had the name of a potential suspect, John Rebel. As Samantha's story goes, she was talking to her friend about Ernie's supposed attacks on Samantha, when suddenly a man with the pseudonym John Rebel overheard their conversation and started talking about how a man shouldn't treat a woman that way and that he was going to handle the situation.
Oh god, what in the fan fiction fuck is that? What kind of Wattpad shit did you take that from, miss?
Well, as it turned out, the name John Rebel actually belonged to someone, a man named Jonathan Sanford. The police found and arrested John not long after Samantha gave out his name, right alongside his 2 accomplices, Jose Ponce and Octavius Rhymes. Surprisingly, Jonathan put up little to no resistance and immediately confessed to kidnapping Ernie. He also confirmed the worst possible outcome, that by the time the police got involved, Ernie was already dead. The 3 took him to a secluded forest and executed him with 1 shot to the back of his head.
Jesus.
However, even after learning all this, one question remained. Why? Why would 3 men who didn't even know Ernie kidnap him from his home like that?
Money. That's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing the bitch hired them and, put a little something on the table, kind of shit.
Every answer to this question pointed back to Samantha, who kept denying any involvement. Even if the investigators ignored her suddenly remembering the perpetrator's name, there were several other suspicious aspects to her story. Like, how was she able to untie herself enough to call her aunt? Why didn't any of her neighbors hear the break-in? And why were the kids all sleeping in the same room, when usually they're scattered throughout the house? It wasn't long before investigators uncovered undeniable evidence of her direct involvement.
I really hope it was at least on part those guys snitching on her, because let me tell you something. If I do something for you, I'm not the kind of kills nobody. Don't get me wrong, but like, if I'm gonna do something for you, and you immediately fucking rat me out to the cops, I'm gonna rat your ass right back. I'm not the only one doing time for this shit.
This included instruction messages she sent to Octavius when the officers were trying to call Ernie's phone, which he had on him. These read, "Kill his phone, shut that down, ditch phone, move." There was no doubt about it at this point. Samantha was in colluding with her husband's killers. And as the investigation went on, the real story came out as well.
Of course!
Samantha had apparently become addicted to the idea of becoming a famous YouTuber, and her neglect of the kids became a constant source of fighting between the couple.
I
But
bet.
instead of resolving the issue like a responsible adult, Samantha colluded with her friend's boyfriend to hatch a cartoonishly evil scheme to get rid of Ernie. They first wanted to plant hard drugs in his car and get him arrested, but later made the heartless decision that taking his life would be much easier. There's also a chance that Samantha went with the murder plan because it would have brought her more attention on YouTube. She was eventually sentenced to 149 years in prison for killing her own husband, leaving her 5 children completely orphaned in the process.
I hope those kids are doing okay. I mean, it's not their fault their mother's a fucking piece of shit. You know, I've talked a lot on this channel about how it weirds me out how obsessed people are with like social media, you know, TikTok and Twitter and all that shit. But like, even trying to be a YouTuber, like some people really want to get into it, you know, and they really fucking try. I'm gonna be blunt with you. I don't expect to make any money off of this shit. This is just you know, this is just a way for me to at least try to talk to people, you know, let thoughts out, share stuff with people, you know, whoever comes by. Better than talking to myself and going stir crazy, right? But for real though, like, I don't think it's a good idea to go into just making your own shit just for the money, because there's so many people just putting content out. Like, what is it, like 1 billion hours a day of shit being uploaded to YouTube? I mean, yo shit's like a needle in 2 haystacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gotta figure out which haystack the needle is in and then search the motherfucker. Like, it's gotta be a thing where you gotta realize, man, probably ain't gonna be no money in it for like 90% of motherfuckers. Maybe even 99. And certainly ain't gonna be no fame for most of these people, right? But this chick fucking threw her whole family away for it, and now she don't even have that. Now she's stuck in the prison. Did they let you do YouTube in prison? I hope not.
Diana Lovejoy was a successful technical writer living in the town of Carlsbad, California with her husband Greg Mulvihill.
What the fuck is a technical writer anyway? Is that like somebody who writes manuals? Like how-to books, like, you know, the shit that comes with your IKEA or whatever when you want to put it together, or like that comes with a keyboard, you know, tells you all the macros and shit. What the fuck is that?
However, while her corporate job paid the bills, Diana's true passion was becoming a triathlon athlete and documenting her journey on video, resulting in her eventually starting her own fitness blog called Lovejoy Fitness and a YouTube channel by the name of Heavy DJ.
But she's not heavy and she's not a DJ. A fucking name is that?
She started this channel all the way back in 2008 and over the years used it to document various parts of her life. From meeting her parents after a long time to going scuba diving with her husband. At one point, she even tried to become a cooking show host of sorts.
Doesn't that smell nice?
Unfortunately, her channel never really took off, forcing her to eventually cut her losses and move on with her life in March of 2012.
Well, that's mature.
Or at least that's what it looked like from the outside. In reality, Diana's reason for abandoning her YouTube channel was kind of wholesome. You see, Diana and Greg had been trying for a baby for years by this point. Tragically, Diana had suffered 8 different miscarriages and was quickly losing hope.
God, Jesus. Bro. Like, that's gotta be just absolutely heartbreaking. Fucking 8 miscarriages? I mean, kudos for not giving up, but damn, that's a lot.
But then, in September of 2012, the two were blessed with a perfectly healthy baby boy, marking an end to their struggle.
Woo!
However, what should have been a moment of celebration started a downward spiral of lies and betrayals, eventually culminating in an assassination attempt. Things started going downhill when just a few months after the birth of their son, Greg lost his job, leaving Diana as the sole breadwinner. The stress of the previous miscarriages, combined with the crushing weight of having to support a family in an extremely expensive city all on her own, spelled disaster for their marriage.
You know, you could always go to a cheaper city. I mean, yeah, the commute might suck. But, like, you don't have to be in a fucking expensive shithole. I don't think, anyway.
It wasn't long before the two were constantly fighting with each other. Things escalated even further on July 9, 2014, when Greg returned home only to see a police officer waiting for him at the door. The officer explained that Greg wasn't allowed to enter his own home because, as it turned out, Diana had accused him of attacking both her and their son.
Okay, I'm about to go off again. It's a well-known fact that many women will exploit prejudices in the justice system to fuck with their husbands. They'll try to deny them access to their kids, try to get them arrested on fake DV type of shit. You know, there are issues like that. You hear about that shit all the fucking time, and I get the feeling it's gonna get a lot worse before we're done. But guys, you gotta be You gotta be absolutely careful, man. You gotta be careful that the person that you're marrying isn't a fucking crazy bitch. And there's gotta be like a show a show of the true colors after a while, right? Don't rush to marry too damn soon. That's all I'm saying.
What followed was a nearly 2-year-long divorce mediation,
Ooh.
during which the investigators found no evidence supporting Diana's accusations, allowing Greg to get a 50-50 custody of their son. Diana was also ordered to pay $120,000 as a part of their divorce settlement in late 2015.
Well, hell, she should pay for making him go through all that shit with the cops. I'm going to assume that a lawyer had to be involved at some point. Fucking hell. I mean, I know I wouldn't want to fucking be stuck not being able to defend myself against that kind of shit. Like I said, it is bad. The prejudices are bad enough. I'm just glad he beat the case. You know?
But before the divorce could be finalized, Greg received a phone call from an anonymous number that changed everything. The voice on the other end claimed to be a private investigator Diana had hired recently.
Right.
And according to this investigator, he already had solid proof of the attack claims Diana had made against Greg. But for some unknown reason, he wanted to help Greg win the case, so he claimed to have left the documents taped to a power pole located on a small hiking trail near Greg's home.
Please don't tell me this stupid motherfucker actually went there.
Greg naturally found this whole thing pretty suspicious
and
decided to take one of his friends with him to the pole on the night of September 4th, 2016.
Okay, that's not so bad. He at least didn't go alone. You know, he got one of the boys. You know, strength in numbers, that kind of shit.
Sadly, despite his suspicions, he failed to grasp the true intentions of the strangely helpful private detective.
Right.
Hello, this is 911.
Yeah. My friend has just been shot.
Do you know who shot him?
There's a guy lying down like a sniper.
A sniper? Did you see him at all?
Briefly, we saw the gun, and he shot at us like 6 or 7 times.
When Greg reached the pole, a sniper opened fire on him, shooting him clean through the chest. Fortunately, the bullet missed his heart by mere inches, giving him a second chance at life.
Let me tell you something. After that, I'd be playing all the goddamn lottery. I'd be getting all the lottery tickets. I'd be playing all the scratch-offs. Bro, that is luck.
By the time the police arrived, the shooter had already fled the crime scene.
Yeah, no shit.
But a quick survey of the area allowed the investigators to uncover a pair of towels the shooter left behind. Running a DNA test on these towels led to a man named Weldon McDavid, Diana's shooting instructor. Weldon tried to deny any involvement at first, but
Why the fuck is the shooting... What? Why is the shooting instructor getting involved? Is he fucking her now?
David, Diana's shooting instructor. Weldon tried to deny any involvement at first, but the evidence against him was overwhelming. As after a thorough search, investigators were able to find another set of the same towels at Diana's place as well.
Yep.
They had also received CCTV footage of Diana buying the burner phone Weldon later used to lure Greg into the secluded area. Most importantly, investigators also found the gun Weldon used on Greg, hidden in the rafters of his garage. By this point, it was clear that Diana was the one who wanted to get rid of Greg, likely to avoid paying the divorce settlement and keep full custody of her son. Diana and Weldon were arrested for the attempted assassination on Greg Mulvihill and tried for their crimes in November 2017.
Well, it's not going to be 50-50 custody now, is it? Sometimes you gotta be happy with what you have. You know what I'm saying? Because trying to get more will end up with you having less or even nothing, as we see here. Also, that dude looks fucking weird. Like he hasn't shaved in at least half a year.
Both were found guilty, with Diana sentenced to 26 years to life and Weldon to a harsher 50 years to life. The only silver lining in this entire case is that Greg was able to make a full recovery and is now living with his son.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
2017. Both were found guilty, with Diana sentenced to 26 years to...
Oh, it's this bitch. She actually passed out when she heard the sentence.
Signed foreperson. In the Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of San Diego, the people of the State of California, Plaintiff versus Weldon K. McDavid, defendant. Case number SCN 363925, DA number OCD 980. Verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Weldon K. McDavid, guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
Boy! Oh, that's funny.
Life and Weldon to a harsher 50 years to life. The only silver lining in this entire case is that Greg was able to make a full recovery and is now living with his son.
Hey, that's a pretty big fucking silver lining, though. In another timeline, he died and she's with the son. Or worse, he dies, they catch her anyway, and he's an orphan. There are a lot of ways this could have gone wrong.
The Gunnar Runar 87 channel on YouTube seems oddly wholesome at first glance. It's owned by an Icelandic boy named Gunnar Runar Sigthorsson and contains a single 3.5-minute video of him confessing his feelings to the girl he loves.
Aww.
The title translates to English as My Confession to Hildur. In it, he says things like,
she is without a doubt the most special human being I've ever met. I've become so incredibly happy only being close to her. That's all it takes, and this is meant for you, because I think I've fallen in love with you.
However, this seemingly heartfelt love letter turned out to be the key to solving one of the most horrific crimes in recent Icelandic history.
Let me guess, he killed her. Let me guess, he got rejected. He couldn't handle the rejection, and he offed her. That's one of those things you hear way too damn much of.
And it all led back to Gunnar and the troubled life he had as a child.
Right.
You see, Gunnar didn't have a mother growing up, resulting in him getting extremely close with his father. However, on the night of September 20th, 1996, when Gunnar was just 9 years old, his father decided to end it all using a gun. What made this already messed up situation even worse was the fact that Gunnar was in the room with his father and witnessed everything.
What? Why would you kill yourself with your son there? Not only that, but you know that you're the only person that boy has. And you gonna do that to him. Bro, that is messed up. Bro, it would be a miracle if he didn't come out fucked up.
Unsurprisingly, this took a heavy toll on Gunnar's mental health.
You know shit.
He withdrew from the world and refused to accept his father's death as reality. Everything seemed hopeless for Gunnar. That is until primary school, when he met a girl named Hildur and instantly became infatuated with her. He'd admired her throughout school and into adulthood, but never found the courage to make a move, fearing to lose his only close friend. However, things changed in 2009 when Hildur got engaged to a man named Hannes. This gave Gunnar the push to do something about his feelings, but given his shy personality...
Why would you say something after she got engaged to another dude? Bro, it's too late now. It's too late.
He still couldn't confront Hildur directly. So, in March of 2009, he created a YouTube channel and uploaded his confession on there. Hildur never reciprocated his feelings,
no
but
shit.
the two remained friends. Even Hannes, Hildur's now husband, didn't seem to mind Gunnar's company, something he likely regretted deeply just a year later. It all went down on the 14th of August 2010. Hildur was invited to a party that Gunnar was attending as well.
Right.
But things got a bit out of hand, and Hildur ended up drinking too much and passing out. Given their closeness, the task of getting her home safely was handed to Gunnar. But instead of dropping her off at Hannes' house like he should have, Gunnar took her to his own home. By the time Hildur woke up, it was already morning. She was understandably furious with Gunnar and immediately called one of her friends to drive her home.
Oh, please don't tell me he raped her. Don't tell me that's where this is going.
But nothing could have prepared Hildur for the horrific scene she witnessed on the other side of her front door.
Right.
Her husband Hannes was lying on the top of the staircase near their bedroom, submerged in a pool of his own blood.
Oh, this went all the way left.
She ran outside and called the authorities. Sadly, it was already too late.
No
Hannes
shit.
had received over 20 stab wounds on his body, from his arms and legs to the back of his neck, and...
Ouch. 20, that's a lot of stab. Also, what the fuck is wrong with the camera here? Let me fucking make this a little bigger. Hold on a second. Some weird shit happened with the car tires. Look. Come on.
Outside and called the authorities. Sadly, it was already too late. Hannes had received over 20 stab wounds on his body, from his arms and legs to the back of his neck, and...
What the fuck was that? Was that an AI recreation, or is that camera just fucked? I'm not sure what the hell went on there.
And was long dead by the time Hildur found him. Given his condition, his death was ruled a homicide, and investigators wasted no time in looking for the killer.
Oh. Yeah, I bet they really had to get into the mystery van and solve this one. They needed the dog and everything, I'm sure.
And while they initially suspected one of his business rivals of committing this horrific crime, it didn't take long for investigators to find Gunnar's video confession to Hildur and bring him in for questioning. Gunnar denied knowing anything about it and was eventually let go due to lack of evidence.
Right.
Fortunately, not all hope was lost, because not long after that, investigators found a bloody shoe print next to Hannes' bed. Looking deeper into this print revealed that it belonged to a pair of limited edition Adidas shoes.
Why didn't they find this before? Like, a shoe print's not obscure. Like, how do you fuck that up?
At the time, there were only 18 of these specific shoes in all of Iceland, and Gunnar just so happened to own one of these pairs. This was enough evidence to detain him once again. This also gave investigators the authority to do a thorough search of his belongings, resulting in them finding residue of Hannes' blood on his shoes, as well as in his car. Once presented with this evidence, Gunnar confessed to the murder. He also revealed that he'd been planning it for months, and even shoplifted the items he intended to use to avoid purchase records linking back to him.
You know, buddy, when you kill somebody, you don't get to keep the shoes or the clothes. You have to burn that shit. Again, I am not ever going to kill anybody. Ever. But it just seems so obvious. I guess they they don't catch the smart ones, right?
And while he didn't admit to it, Hilda also suspected him of spiking her drink that night, since she usually never passed out like that. After committing the crime, he also drove to a nearby pier and dumped items used in the crime into the sea to get rid of any evidence. It was a well thought out plan, since he was only caught because the garbage bag he used to hide his shoe prints tore open as he walked. As for his motive, it was just as everyone had expected, with him making it clear during the investigation, stating, "I loved Hilda. She was supposed to be with me. She was not supposed to be with him."
Really? Really? That's what you... That is a fucking... What kind of anime cliche is that? It should have been me! What the fuck?
Surprisingly, he was found not guilty during his first trial on March 1, 2011 by reason of insanity stemming from his messed up childhood.
Right.
However, the prosecution argued that he was fully aware of his actions and escalated the case to the Supreme Court of Iceland. Gunnar was found guilty on this second trial and was sentenced to 16 years in prison.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I'm an American. The idea that you could be found not guilty and then be tried again, that's fucking weird to me, man. Like, is there any impetus to get it right the first time if you could just go as long as you like until you get the fucking sentence the judgment you want? How does that work?
This was already lenient given the brutality of his crime, yet he ended up serving only half of that sentence as well.
Wait, he got 16 years for a homicide that he fucking planned, and he only served 8 of those motherfuckers. I forgive America for all the shit I say about it. And when I do the reactions to dramatics videos, because compared to this shit, man, we are the hardest country in the world compared to this shit.
He was released under supervision in July 2019 and now works at a local warehouse.
I fucking hope that I fucking hope he hasn't done anything to Hilda. Because, like, you know that was on his mind, right? Oh, that bitch is so dead when the supervision ends. Oh, fuck, man. I am worried for that poor girl. Holy shit. Anyway, let me queue up the other video with the same title. Alright, let's do this. Let me just,
VinnyBad118 was a YouTube channel owned and operated by Vincent Badaloro from New Jersey. He'd been active on YouTube since 2021 and mainly streamed himself playing sports games like MLB The Show. On September 30, 2025, he went live with another one of these streams. And for someone stumbling onto this live broadcast, nothing about it felt odd. That is, until they started watching and noticed his chat asking him odd questions.
Are you... Yeah, that would look like it came out of nowhere. Like, if I just turn on my shit one day, and, like, I'm watching somebody, and I see somebody in the chat, are you going to jail? Could you imagine that? Like, if one of these days, if I do, like a Kinky Mation react to somebody, like, are you going to jail? That would shock the fuck out of me, too.
Like, are you going to jail, and how are you going to get paid in jail? Things became even more strange when some of his viewers started calling him a killer over and over again.
Okay. So, they already knew he was a killer at this point. I wonder who he offed.
However, this label wasn't an exaggeration. As it turned out, Vincent was hosting this stream less than a day after allegedly ending the lives of 2 teenage girls in a neighboring town, and he didn't seem the least bit remorseful. The incident happened on September 29th, just before 5:30 p.m.
How the fuck is he streaming and the cops know about that it's him? Like, how the hell does that happen? Like, if everybody knows it's him, and that has to be the case because he's getting messages, how the hell is he not getting a little knock on the door while the stream is going? That better be what happens.
17-year-old Maria Neotis and Isabella Salas were riding e-bikes in a residential neighborhood in Cranford, New Jersey, when they were suddenly hit by a speeding car seemingly out of nowhere. The crash was loud enough to get the attention of nearby residents. People rushed to help. Unfortunately, it was already too late.
Ah, hit and run. Okay. That's what that is.
Describe what those calls to police sounded like moments after Maria Neotis and Isabella Salas were mowed down by a black SUV driven by another teenager.
There's a girl on the road and there's a car. Oh my God, please hurry.
So there's 2 females?
By the time first responders arrived at the scene, both girls had already passed away. But what made the incident even more disturbing was just how shockingly violent it was. Later investigation revealed the car was going close to 70 miles per hour, or over 110 kilometers an hour, in a neighborhood with a speed limit of just 25 miles per hour.
God damn. What did Homeboy have to be so damn bad that he's going 70 and a 25? Like, what could be so goddamn important?
Roughly 40 kilometers per hour. The resulting collision sent the girls flying across the street, with one victim coming to rest approximately 100 feet from the impact site. According to eyewitness reports, the driver tried to drive away immediately after the incident, but the crash was so violent that the impact had lodged one of the e-bikes into the car, forcing the driver to ditch it and flee on foot.
Are you fucking kidding me? You went on foot. Like there was no way in hell this guy was gonna not be caught, right? Homeboy, he had to have been drunk. That's what's gonna happen. I bet you we're gonna find out that this motherfucker was drunk.
Fortunately, this allowed investigators to run the license plate and trace the car back to its driver, 17-year-old Vincent Badaloro. Vincent was called in for questioning. It's unclear what exactly he told the police, but since the investigators didn't have any solid evidence of his personal involvement, he was let go the same night.
Are you fucking kidding me? It's his car. He's got a fucking e-bike lodged in the motherfucker. And I'm gonna assume he didn't report the motherfucker stolen. So, how is there no evidence?
The investigators were also treating this as an accident by this point, so they had no ground to detain Vincent just yet. However,
what do you mean treating it like an accident?
This changed completely when one of the victims' families learned about Vincent's potential involvement. According to Maria's family, Vincent had been stalking and harassing her for months by that point.
Are you fucking kidding me? You stalking that? I mean, you shouldn't be stalking women at all, but like... Bro, there's millions of women out there. Like, dust yourself off and try again, you know? You ain't gotta fucking do this shit.
They went to the same school, and Vincent was reported to have tormented her during multiple different instances.
God.
The two had never gotten along. Vincent would also allegedly follow Maria around anytime she went outside, and neighbors even saw him staking out her house in his car on multiple occasions.
Oh, so he creepy. Okay. This motherfucker, this dude is not nice, man. Maybe he should have stuck to baseball.
This behavior only worsened after Maria reported him to the school authorities about a month before the incident.
Oh, okay. So this ain't even, what is this, just bullying? Is that what this is?
With him becoming even more aggressive and making false police reports, even leading to her family getting swatted multiple times.
Okay, so he's a bitch. Gotcha. He's an absolute bitch on top of it. Really gonna swat somebody? I'm absolutely scared that's gonna happen to me one of these days. Like, if I ever pop off enough to where I get people onto my live streams, I wonder if that's gonna happen. If somebody's gonna take issue with me for some bullshit, right? You never know with people.
One of his streams, he mentioned having a vengeance against Maria and even dedicated one of his old phones to harassing her, starting with ordering a pizza to her address.
Okay, so this wasn't, he wasn't, he wasn't trying to get into her pants? He just wanted to torment her? Just for funsies? Is that what this is?
Here's what we're gonna do. I think Maria's hungry. I think we're gonna send her a pizza. Cheer her up. So, y'all know I have a vengeance against this girl. I'm gonna call a pizza to her house, and here's how I'm gonna do it.
What is it? I can't wrap my... It has to be rejection. This can't just be random, I'm just gonna fuck with this one girl. This can't be what... He had to have tried to get in her, and she said no, and he got pissy. That's the only thing that I can imagine somebody going this goddamn nuts to do something, man. In which case, again, move the fuck on. Like, no matter if it is or it isn't a case of rejection, this guy is a fucking moron in addition to being a monster.
Investigation also revealed that Vincent's own parents had called the police 4 times regarding his increasingly violent and out-of-control behavior over the last few months. He was becoming more erratic, and combined with Maria getting him in trouble at school, was likely harboring deep resentment towards her. Put simply, there was a strong chance that what happened wasn't an accident.
Oh my god. So, what? So he bullies her, she goes to the principal. But okay, is this romantic? Or is this just he's bullying her and she goes to the principal and he gets pissy? It's not like she could change schools on a whim. That takes a while. What was she supposed to just put up with your bullshit?
He possibly wanted to take his anger out on Maria, and Isabel was just collateral in his messed up plan.
I bet.
Now, while the investigators were piecing all this together, Vincent decided to go live on YouTube and pretend like everything was completely normal. However, people in his community had learned about his possible involvement in the case by this point, resulting in the chat messages we mentioned earlier. He tried to dismiss these messages as just hate comments and drama, but eventually decided to address the situation in the vaguest terms possible.
Oh, I can't wait for this shit.
In a neighboring town, unfortunately, 2 girls were killed.
Right.
In a hit-and-run crash.
You would know.
Now, there has been a lot of misinformation going on over the internet. It is an absolute unfortunate situation, and there's more to the story that you're not getting. But when the time comes, I will explain it in greater detail.
What? Oh, so he's trying to pull a Donny boy, huh? Everything that's not kissing your ass is fake news now? Huh? Is that what this is? Alright.
He was likely speaking this way to avoid an accidental admission of guilt. However, this stream could still help investigators bring him to justice. You see, while he was live on YouTube, investigators were gathering evidence to prove that he was behind the wheel. This led to the discovery of ring camera footage from a nearby street, showing him speeding in the neighborhood before the incident and then walking back on foot minutes after everything went down. This, combined with eyewitness testimonies, allowed investigators to arrest him a day later on October 1st and charge him with 2 counts of first-degree murder. His channel has since been terminated by YouTube.
Yeah, no shit.
Prosecutors are also pushing to have Vincent tried as an adult to secure the full sentence they believe he deserves.
Well, he deserves death, but I don't know if they have that up there.
I'm recording this because I want my daughter to know that I love you, Mackenzie Pascal. I'm so sorry that I've done this. I want you to know that you mean everything to me.
I don't get the feeling this guy killed his daughter.
This was the final video 48-year-old Trent Pascal uploaded to YouTube on October 21st, 2020. His content up until that point was a mix of family vlogs, DIY tips, and RC toy reviews.
Wait a minute. Officer Darren Wilson's side of the story revealed. Oh, so he's one of those people.
Till that point was a mix of family vlogs, DIY tips, and RC toy reviews. He came across as a laid-back, middle-aged dad enjoying time with his family, but the video he uploaded in October 2020 was different. It wasn't a wholesome vlog or toy review with his kids. Instead, this was a confession Trent posted to YouTube after committing a heartless crime just so he could paint himself as the victim.
Right.
The day started off rough with Trent having a massive argument with his wife, Savannah. Details of what exactly caused this argument are unknown, but
let me guess, he killed the wife and tried to make it so that his kids would understand what him and not think of him as an asshole. Probably didn't work.
But according to some reports, it had something to do with Trent's overprotective and envious personality. He was reportedly very insecure about the 18-year age gap between him and Savannah. He saw anyone even remotely close to her as a threat and tried to—
Oh my, are you fucking kidding? Bro, you bagged a baddie that was way too young for you. Like, you should have known what was up. But the fact that she's got kids with your ass means, she's got to have some attachment. Motherfuckers are too insecure, man.
Between him and Savannah. He saw anyone even remotely close to her as a threat and tried to control every aspect of her life, which also led to many clashes between the two over the years. Regardless of the reason, the argument on October 21st ended with Savannah dropping their two kids at school and then driving over to live at their mother Shirley's house in Lamarck, Texas.
Right.
Neighbors also saw Trent storming out not long after. Savannah and Shirley went out to check on the kids at school later that day before returning home at around noon. Shirley went straight to the master bedroom to freshen up, but nothing could have prepared her for what was waiting for her inside. The moment she stepped into the bathroom, Trent leaped out from behind the shower curtain with a firearm in his hand. And before she could even register what was going on, Trent announced that he was going to end both her and Savannah and opened fire. Fortunately, he missed the mark, giving Shirley the opportunity to escape to a neighbor's house and call for help. Sadly, Savannah wasn't as lucky.
Ain't that always how it goes? Now the mother's got to live with this shit. You know, it's got to be worse. It's got to be worse for the mom because, like, that's not how. I think I've mentioned this before, but that's not how it's supposed to go, right? You know, the kids are supposed to bury the parents, not the other way around. Like this is bad, man. This is like maximum victimization by this son of a bitch.
Trent managed to shoot her twice in the stomach before fleeing the scene.
Jesus.
She was rushed to the hospital, but passed away shortly after. Though, while Savannah was fighting for her life, Trent uploaded this video to his now deleted second channel explaining his reasoning for the heinous crime. He accused Savannah of cheating on him and claimed that she was the one who made him do this. However, to most people who came across this video, it was clear that Trent posted the video so he could portray himself as the victim. He even seems to try a fake crime multiple times during the video, but
oh yeah, that is the fakest fucking crying, bro.
Fails to shed a single tear. Many also assumed the cheating accusation was likely false.
Well, it was likely false, but this psychopath probably thought she was cheating because, you know, these kind of guys think any contact with men at all means that they're cheating, that their wife is cheating. So, you know, there's that.
But even if it wasn't, it was still no justification for taking her life. That said, the most disturbing part of this video was the very end, which showed Trent hearing a noise and immediately rushing to hide in a dark room. Closely listening to this section revealed a plastic rustling noise, similar to what shower curtains sound like when moved.
Right.
In other words, Trent was possibly recording this final message in Shirley's home moments before they arrived, and then quickly ran to the bathroom when he heard the two pull into the driveway.
Oh, that's gross if it's true. Like set that shit to premiere not long after it goes down. Ugh. Like I'm not sure if delayed publishing was a thing back then, but like, oh yeah, I can see where that was an issue. So he makes this bullshit video trying to babyface himself for his kids and anybody else who might be coming by, and then gets ready to do the most heinous shit you could do as a husband. Very nice.
He fled Lamarck immediately after committing the crime, prompting a statewide manhunt. This ended with the police tracking him down to a Walmart parking lot in Houston later the same day. However, Trent drew his firearm on the officers and refused to back down despite repeated warnings. This left deputies with no choice but to open fire, hitting him several times across the abdomen.
Pussy. Couldn't even face justice properly. Couldn't look your kids in the eye and at least admit what you did was for your own selfish fucking reasons. You had to take the easy way out.
It's official. You suck.
He was then taken to a hospital where he spent over a month recovering from his wounds. He was eventually booked into the Galveston County Jail.
Ah! So he tried, but he failed. Very nice. I'm so glad of that for him.
On charges of murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm. Now, this is usually where stories like this end, but that's not what happened with Trent. Despite the deeply violent nature of his crimes, he was allowed to leave on bail after paying $550,000.
Are you fucking kidding me? They let him have bail. Bro, it's like the ultimate flight risk. How does that happen?
He was fitted with a GPS ankle monitor and ordered to stay at his mother's house until his conviction. Trent initially complied with these orders, but on April 13th, 2021, he removed his ankle monitor, stole a car at knife point after taking it on a test drive from a dealership, and vanished without a trace. This triggered a massive multi-state manhunt. The police spent months looking for Trent, but he was still nowhere to be found. This also left Savannah's family in a constant state of fear, as Trent could show up at any time to cause further harm. The run finally ended nearly 9 months later in January 2022 when the U.S. Marshals received a tip that a man matching Trent's description was staying at a small RV park in Ocala, Florida. Officers rushed to the scene and surrounded a van where they believed he was hiding. But before they could break in and apprehend Trent, he decided to end everything on his own.
For fouling.
Robbing Savannah's family of seeing any justice through the legal system.
So he decided to go, give it another go with the whole suicide thing. Well, at the very least, he's burning where he belongs now. There's that at least.
Lane Maurice Davis joined YouTube all the way back in September 2009 under the name Seattle for Truth. Most of his videos have since been deleted.
Wait a minute.
September 2009 under the names
the Ralph retort. So he's little they're loco.
Seattle for Truth. Most of his videos have since been deleted by YouTube for policy violations, but they were mainly about right-wing political commentary and rants about current events. Some of these videos also revolved around Lane trying to prove various conspiracy theories. Lane also did an internship under British far-right commentator Milo Yiannopoulos at one point, though it didn't last very long. So his YouTube channel was the only thing Lane focused on for most of his adult life. But while he did have a sizable following across socials, most of his videos didn't attract enough viewers to provide a sustainable income.
Yeah, no shit.
This forced Lane to live with his parents and rely on them for monetary needs, which apparently was a major source of tension in their relationship. His parents also had differing political views from their son, leading to frequent arguments, especially with his father Charles.
Let me guess. They were more moderate in their conservatism and he was a fucking wacko. You know, that's how it goes, isn't it? You know, as horrible as the extremists treat the other side's extremists, they're even worse with their own moderates. Because, I don't know, I guess they don't like the apparent apostasy as I guess they would see it, you know? But it's weird to me, man.
And the back and forth on the night of July 14, 2017 started off as no different. As the argument became more heated, his mother, Catherine, dialed 911 and calmly asked for assistance, stating, "He's not physically threatening us or anything. He just gets out of control and he's ranting about stuff from the internet. He's not working and he just gets on these rampages and he just needs to move on. He just lives on the internet and he gets really worked up about everything that's going on. He needs an intervention of some kind here."
90% of fucking Twitter can be described in such a way, you know what I'm saying? fuck on.
The dispatcher instructed Catherine and Charles to keep their distance until the police arrived, but she downplayed the threat, saying she'd seen many similar outbursts in the past and that he wouldn't turn violent. Unfortunately, she couldn't have been more wrong, because just a few minutes later, Catherine dialed 911 again, and this time in a far more frantic state, screaming phrases like, "He stabbed him," and repeating, "He's dead," over and over again. Officers were already on their way from the first call Catherine made and reached the house within minutes. Inside, they found Charles lying on the floor with his clothes covered in blood. According to reports, Lane became even more aggressive after the first 911 call and stabbed his father multiple times with a kitchen knife.
Whoa. That escalated super fucking quickly. 0 to fucking 100.
By the time police arrived, Charles had already passed away. Lane likely regretted his decision immediately, as officers saw him standing outside the front door with his hands in the air, waiting to be arrested. He later pleaded guilty to second-degree murder as part of a plea deal and was sentenced to 17 years in prison. His YouTube channel now sits completely abandoned.
Yep. Whew. That guy's out of his fucking... And he's out of his fucking mind, and as it turns out, Theresa May might have been right. If it's people like this guy who she's talking about.
In many of these cases, the transition from content creator to criminal is marked by a clear, calculated decision.
Right.
But with Jessica Worsham, known online as the Indigo Mystic on YouTube, the path was much more blurred, with her channel serving as a digital diary for a woman who is visibly losing her grip on reality. Jessica started her channel in 2013 to post occasional videos on whatever topics grabbed her interest that day. Her content was relatively harmless, with nothing too attention-grabbing,
right,
at least at first. As her personal life began to fracture, the tone shifted dramatically. It started with her getting divorced from her husband. It's unclear what the reason for this divorce was, possibly something to do with her deteriorating mental state. Regardless of the reason though, it left her in charge of her 2 daughters. However, she didn't have any place to stay at the time.
Oh my god, please don't tell me she kills the kids. Come the fuck on.
So, one of her friends allowed her to stay at one of their properties for free until they found a buyer for it. They were likely expecting to sell the home in a few months, but the process ended up taking 3 long years. And when it was finally time to hand over the keys, Jessica intervened. Instead of being grateful for being able to stay there for 3 years for free, she refused to leave and even took her friend to court over it.
Okay.
She understandably lost in court and was forced to move out. This upended the life she'd built over the last 3 years and marked the beginning of her downfall. The stress of losing her home, combined with her pre-existing mental conditions, proved disastrous. She refused to accept the reality and became delusional, thinking that the judges were part of some evil group alongside her family members.
Oh yeah, she's a more generic kind of crazy, it seems.
And were out to get her and her daughters.
So the first person I would like to mention is Alan Berriman. He is my uncle, and he has been working with my other family members, one Angie Griffith. She lives in Danielsville. And also a Denise Cantrell, who is my maternal parent.
That would be your mother. The term is mother.
And my sister, Crystal Christian, okay? They've all been working in league with a judge, a magistrate judge that works at the Jackson County Courthouse named Benjamin Green. He's been doing under-the-table type things that he's not supposed to be doing, and Alan Berriman and those mentioned afterwards have been in league.
She sounds like the kind of person who writes YouTube comments about how all judges are horrible, how all cops are horrible. Like she seems like one of those kind of people.
With this particular judge individual, and to steal my home from me.
Jessica began posting videos ranting about these made-up conspiracies, like how the government was trying to depopulate the world with the COVID vaccines. She was clearly losing her grip on reality, even posting
so much for being generic.
Videos directly addressing the judge she believed had wronged her in the past.
Anyway, this message is for Benjamin Green. Mm-hmm. I know you're watching me, and I know you're scared. And you should be.
Does she kill the daughters or does she kill the judge? She's gonna kill somebody. But which one is it? It's actually intriguing.
Dingledorf, he's too scared. He's too scared to even try to communicate with me telepathically, but you're scared, aren't you, Benji?
Communicate with you telepathically? Oh, yeah. Why? How has nobody seen this so far?
Ben. Good old Benji. You used to be a good person, didn't you, Benji? You did. You used to actually have the desire for justice. And the desire to do good by people. What happened? What happened? Did you let the greed of the world get to you? Did you let that secret society that you're a part of talk you into all this stuff?
However, this was only the beginning. The situation truly began to unravel when her ex-husband filed for custody of their 2 daughters in mid-2021. Jessica didn't have a solid roof over her head and wasn't sending the 2 girls to school either. Her behavior online was also becoming more and more erratic with each passing day. In addition to her rambling about topics that made little sense, she also posted videos waving around the firearm she had, threatening anyone who wanted to get in her way. Put simply, she was becoming dangerous to her own children. Her ex-husband filed for temporary custody until Jessica found proper residence and got professional help for her degrading mental state.
Maybe you should go for permanent custody. Just, just saying, because it seems like she's not going to get better.
But in her delusions, Jessica saw this as yet another attack on her from the same group that took away her home.
Today is a rather unfortunate day, to be honest with you. I'm actually going to court today against some people that are trying to take my children from me. The same people that took my home from me. the Jackson County court system.
She still could have had a chance to stay with her daughters, but on the day of the hearing, she refused to enter the courthouse, further highlighting her unstable mental state to the judge. The custody was awarded to her ex-husband until Jessica was deemed capable of resuming responsibility. This was a chance for her to actually work on improving her situation, but Jessica didn't see it that way. Sadly, she was already too far gone and decided to go on the run with her daughters instead.
Oh boy. So it is the daughters. Oh, nothing good can happen here.
She stayed on the move for the next couple of months, moving from place to place, all while posting increasingly unhinged monologues on YouTube.
Mine, 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 M-I-N-E, mine. They're my babies. And I love them above anything else. I love them like I love God.
Why does Chick look like a member of the Dark Brotherhood?
And I'll do anything, including lay my life down for them. And I know that's what you wish for.
Jessica also felt the need to record and post to YouTube almost everything that happened in her life. She'd gone as far as to instruct her daughters to start recording whenever anything notable happened. What she didn't know was that one of these recordings would end up scarring them for life. The incident happened on November 5th, 2021, with Jessica getting into an argument with the owners of the house she was living in. The dispute escalated to the point where the owners asked her to leave the house, and when she refused, they contacted the police to have her removed. However, as soon as the officers pulled into the driveway, Jessica opened the front door with her firearm in her hand and opened fire. One of the shots hit 43-year-old Sheriff's Deputy Lena Marshall, sending her to the hospital where she tragically passed away just a...
Well, that's different. I was dead sure it was going to be either the daughter or the judge. Instead, it's this poor lady.
A few days later, the other officers opened fire in retaliation, hitting Jessica multiple times, all while her daughters heard and recorded everything inside the house. Jessica passed away on the spot, with her younger daughter posting the final video on YouTube with the heartbreaking title, "My mom is dead, I think."
Oh, fuck. Bro. How do you not take... Were the kids that good at using YouTube at that point that the cops couldn't come in and get the phone? Man.
As recording and uploading to the internet was what Jessica had taught them to do.
Fucking hell, man. That's just fucked. That is just fucked.